Jodi Hildebrandt's house is so cold and just has this bad energy surrounding it. I want to watch that initial police walkthrough from the evidence that was released and talk about it in today's video. Hello Sofa Squad and welcome back to the sofa. Sofa's still back there, although Roscoe is on hiatus. He is in the living room on the other sofa. He just finished eating his little Scooby snacks, if you will. And my name's Paul if you're new to the channel. Now, like I said, what we're doing today is we're still just making our way through all of that evidence that they released. And today what I wanted to do was look at together here with y'all the video of that initial police walkthrough that they did. Now, I've picked out basically the parts of it that I want to talk about. In general, I tried deciding how to go about this, and really what we're going to do is just essentially watch it together. And I'm going to make some commentary and just let it play, and then other parts I cut out because there was nothing going on, that type thing. So that's what we'll be doing, and that's it. So if you want to follow myself and Roscoe when he's here on the Instagram, it's on the screen, it's in the description. Go on, check it out, give it a follow. So like I said, what we're going to do is just go ahead and pull that video up. We're going to start from the very beginning. Now here's the thing, keep this in mind. This video was released muted, I imagine, because of the things they were talking about. So this is from a different perspective. If you've been following specifically my coverage on this, you know, I did a thing on their arrest, and this is not the cop that arrested. I mean, it's one of the cops, obviously, but that body cam footage was from the officer standing with Jodi. This is the guy walking to the house, right? So just know that there's no volume to it. I'll be talking over it. We'll be watching it. Let's go ahead and roll tape. Okay, now on this beginning thing right here, remember, this is where they come to the house. So what's happened is next door, the child R has escaped, gone to the neighbors. They're over here banging on the door. Now, look, he's getting his watch ready. He's like, we're about to tumble, okay? They want answers, okay? Now, again, we're going to be talking a lot about the house. Look at this outside. Look at this door. It feels like a fortress. Now, here she comes opening the door. Now, immediately, come out of the house, come out of the house. She's been on the phone with her lawyer. She knows. Now, look at this guy. He ain't playing. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. Okay, so let's pause for a second before we keep going. I could watch that on repeat. Just that part, okay? It gives me goosebumps. I get so much satisfaction out of seeing them yank her out of the house, because here's the thing, okay? And we're not going to go over this here on this channel, but you can see it. You can see this footage of the children, all that kind of stuff. It's out there if you want to watch that. When you look at the state of the children, okay, there's two things that go through my mind. First of all, I'm thinking of the state of the children. His poor little knees. You could see the bone. I mean, they were so malnourished and so frightened. It's insane. And I mean, it's bad, okay? The fact that she is sitting there all comfortable, clearly not starving, on her phone with her lawyer talking about, I'm not coming out of the house. I mean, that part right there where he grabs her and yanks her out. Then on top of, remember, this is way back when. This is when this happened. We've already seen her in court. We've already heard the phone calls talking about, you can't raise children the way you want to. I've done nothing wrong. The children are rising up against us. And now we see this evidence and what the kids look like, and hear Ruby's journals that we just got finished covering. Gladly yank her out of that damn house. Thank you, officer. We want to send you gifts. Let us know where. Okay, let's continue on the walkthrough with the cops. Okay, so now this guy, he's coming through. Now here's the thing. I cut through on this because he stands there with his arm covering for quite some time. So it's getting ready to come up, and there's going to be a jump to when he actually starts moving again. Here he goes. Okay, so here's the thing. Watch, they're going in this room. Again, look at the parts of the house. This room is so barren and stark. Now, it looks like someone's been sleeping in this bed. I don't know if this is Jodi's room. You see how much sunlight's poured in. Remember when we read the journals and how they would make the children stand out in the sun? Look at how bright that sun is cooking this house. But again, look at just the energy of this room. It's like the most lifeless looking room I have ever seen in my life. There's nothing there. It's almost Kim Kardashian's house. It's a little bit warmer, I'll say that. So here he's coming. Again, just look at all this. Clearly this, okay, so you know when you have these big mansions like this, and part of it is meant for the public, and the other part's like actually where you live in, kind of a thing? That's what this is. Okay, now here's the part where, remember, he's going out here. Now, she's out here talking to this dude, and she's in here falling all over herself. They're going to come in. Now, again, look at this living room. Absolute cold, no life to it. He's telling him, like, okay, this is what we're doing. Now, keep this in mind. All they know is this child next door in the state that he was in, with the open wounds, with a tape around him, the whole 9 yards. They're him talking about, I have a sibling, whatever. They want to find who else is in this house, right? Now, you'll see in a minute where they have the blueprints of the house out and everything. I mean, this house is insane. And what is absolutely frightening about this is how much it looks like they were, I mean, I don't know if the original builder obviously set this up for this, but I mean, some of it's like, I mean, it would seem as if so, right? With the locked doors downstairs and whatnot. That part of this is so insanely creepy to me and so frightening. But also, again, as you watch them poking around, they're looking for anybody. There's so many little hidden places, and this connects to the underground and this and that and the other. But seeing Jodi, and especially when we see where she was doing these broadcasts from and whatnot, downstairs, wherever, in the bunker, I call it. The whole house is like a bunker. I just feel like the house is just a representation of what she's made up of on the inside, which is this stone cold blankness. Okay, now let's watch this next segment here where they're going to be going to the kitchen. Remember I said the thing about the blueprints and whatnot? So just be paying attention to that. So see, they're going in here. Now here comes this, you know, here they are in the little kitchen area. They're laying all this stuff out. Again, look at how everything is drawn. Everything is just these earth tones, which there's nothing wrong with earth tones, but given the energy of this, and this is what's crazy. So think right now in your mind, and I don't want to say their names, but the sibling, the other victim, the other child, she's downstairs hiding. He's run next door. Now we're going to get to, you see the pantry over there in the corner? I'm pointing at the screen like y'all are sitting here with me. We're going to get to that because I have so many questions about, about the different food items that they have in there. So, I mean, this is what's insane. Look at them going through this. They don't know how many kids are in here. They know it's bad, okay? Because anyone that would see the child in the condition that he was in, you heard the neighbor. He starts crying on the 911 phone call. So you heard him. They know this is bad. I mean, look, they have weapons on them. Now, remember, she's outside trying to protect herself. Ruby's off somewhere. Okay, now here they come up in this room. You saw all that food. Now remember all the food deprivation that goes on. Again, all these blinds closed. Now I get the summer's, it's bright. Now look at this. So they're going in here. All these little rooms that they have off here, the freezer, they're looking everywhere. And this is what's frightening because they don't know. Now see the food in there. They got the bow. I mean, all this stuff. This is what blows my mind with this. And not just Jodi, but these other people. You see this a lot of times in this Hollywood stuff going on now of all these crazy people being exposed for all the evil they do. All this money, all this power, all this privilege, and they choose to do this with it. They choose to victimize other people. I do not get it. I do not understand. Of all the things you could be doing, maybe they're just so drunken with power. Now, this part really got to me because I'm like, my God, they're having to crawl up in this boat. They're literally searching to this degree, okay? And bless his heart, he's having a hard time. I would too, right? I 100% would too. He's like, look, I'd be like, look, y'all, my knees can't take this. I'd be like, somebody boost me up here. But I mean, you don't know what you're going to find in this house. Anything is possible with these people. Now, also side note, but look at how nice this is. They have a whole room for this. You see the little place where you wash your stuff off with. You know, a little to the right of it, they might show it again. This boat, I mean, it's insane the stuff she has. Remember, she was backed by the church. All this money sent to her. I mean, she was very well connected and well known in this region for being a therapist. I know, shocker. But see him looking around in every nook and cranny and the garbage. I mean, it's so you know how bad my adrenaline would be up if I was one of them? Like, what if I find a body? What if I find a kid? What if you know what I'm saying? Looking in every nook and cranny. Because remember also this whole time, Ruby and Jodi are sitting there telling them that the cops are to be afraid of. They're the evil ones. Imagine what it's like for these children once they got out from under this control to be like, wait, that wasn't, not that it wasn't real, but the BS that they were telling them and poisoning their minds with wasn't real. You see what I'm saying? That Ruby and Jodi were the bad ones, not the other people. Okay, now here he goes. He's walking back out here. This cop's like, hey, what's up, bro? Okay, then here, they're going over here. Again, look at how many windows are in this house. Now they're coming down here. They're going back to this. Okay, now this part right here. Look at how many kitchen areas this house has. Now, here's the thing. We're going to get into this. It's going to show it in a second. Well, maybe not right this second. It's going to show here in a minute more food. And going room to room. Now look at this room right here. This is the room. This is the room. You see the things in the thing. There's the, see, remember the safe they were talking about? That's what they were talking about. Look at how scary and spooky this is. And this is what I'm talking about. I mean, they had this running like a prison. And it looks like a prison. Look at this room. What is the point of this? This is spooky to me. And also because you know what was going on down here. And God only knows how many people that she's done this to. Who knows who else she's done this to that didn't? And I'm talking about adults, right? There's no, I don't put anything past her. I don't put anything past her. I mean, this room is so scary looking. It's literal horror movie stuff. Like, what is this? And see this bizarre laundry in the middle of the room. And then they're passing that door. The door will come up like, we need to get the combo. Oh, I don't have the combo. Makes me sick to my stomach. And see, you saw the room over there. All these rooms, I mean, granted, I get it's a huge house, right? But again, what is the point? This is so weird and creepy. This is so weird and creepy. I mean, again, my blood pressure would be all over the place right now if I was him. Oh my God. I mean, and again, look at how many bathrooms there are. Can you imagine? I mean, this, okay, now hold on, look at this. So they're going in this room. Now see this right here, see the bed? I'm not sure if this is where Ruby was sleeping. See all the stuff in there, all the clothes. It literally feels, what is it called when a compound? Very David Koresh. See all that laundry? I'm assuming that's laundry. Okay, here we go. Look in here at this food. Look at the food items when it gets up close. Multiples of everything. And first of all, the size of just this pantry alone, right? I mean, look at this. This is insane. Look at how many things this stuff she has. Look at how many, like, all the oil. And this is where I'm like, was she a prepper? And then come over here and look at this. Look at all those tomatoes. Look at that. Look at this stuff. Now remember, this isn't all the stuff. They still have a pantry full of like cake mix and stuff upstairs. It's insane. And I'm like, all this food withholding from the children, yet they have vast amounts. Now, here's the other, okay, this is the studio. This is where they were, one of the spots where they're pumping that BS, making those stupid videos and those dumb podcasts that I just can't roll my eyes hard enough at. So they're in there doing that while remember, so be thinking Ruby's journal, all the stuff she's doing while I get their names, they're interchangeable, while Jodi's over here doing this or doing that, these are the rooms this stuff was taking place in. Ruby's all nice and comfortable in the AC and, being in this house, this fortress, while having the children standing out in the sun. Absolutely blows my mind. And look at the size of this house. Like, what does Jodi need all this for? Other than literally running a prison camp. And you know how I think it was Pam who was like, oh, the kids came over to help us do stuff at the house. You know they had these kids doing all these chores. You know they were making them do it. Now again, this room right here creeps me out. This room, this whole thing has the worst energy. I'm talking very bad vibes here. But look at how it connects. It's literally like this entire underground, like, I don't even want to call it a basement, right? I mean, it's massive. And then see how it just goes right back up? I mean, I can't, even just through the video screen, the vibes of it are so off. And now, of course, she's going to have Alexis. God wanted her to have that, I'm sure, right? Again, another one of these rooms, like multiple garages. You see the thing to the right? That's where you can like do your feet that I was talking about, or wash your shoes. See right there? They got their shoes there. I mean, even for, I mean, granted, it's a huge house. The barrenness of it, even for rooms that have stuff in them, the barrenness of those rooms is just yikes. Like, this does not feel like a home. I mean, obviously it's not, right? Now look at this room here. Multiple bedrooms. So you go in here. You see the ball there. You see the little thing on the floor. They're getting down there. They're looking. Oh my God. I feel like I'm seeing the ghost of things that happened in there when they go from room to room. And I mean, I'm glad they can seemingly find their way around, because let me tell you what, I'm lost. I mean, I know I'm not there, right? But again, look at all, I mean, it's just room after room of stuff. No wonder Ruby wanted to sell the house and move in there. I mean, look at how big the place is. Now they're coming back around. I feel like we're getting back to one of those rooms initially. Another computer room. But even there you saw where there's just nothing in this room. I mean, look at it. Every room is so massive that things just get lost in it. And there's no personality to it. But again, look who you're dealing with. You're dealing with somebody who gets off on harming other people. Now see, I would love if they had audio to this. I mean, they're talking like, okay, you go this way, you go that way. I mean, can you imagine if the house was full of stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, just stuff like, this is not a lived-in home. Because you got to remember, even though Ruby and her kids are there right now, imagine before they got there, right? And now out there, Jodi's on the phone, probably with her lawyer. Oh, this, that, oh, good God, oh, da-da-da-da-da. Look at her. Makes me sick. That look on her face. She should have that look on her face. She should be afraid. Now, again, you come out here to the front. Now, here's the thing. I'm not from this area. Okay, I'm looking at this and imagine R standing out there in that sun. Look at that. So you can just tell that is cooking. I'm not from that area. I've traveled through it many moons ago, so I kind of know what that heat's like. I'm from the South. The heat and humidity are very bad here, but just looking at this, I feel like, oh my God, I can like feel the heat rising off this house and the ground. And to think that they were making the kids stand out there. To think that Jodi's sitting over there feeling completely self-righteous and like what they've been doing. Like nothing's wrong with that. Why are you even questioning this? Why are you in my home? You know, makes zero sense to me. Now here we see them. He's getting ready to just kind of do another walkthrough. Now again, you see the food in the refrigerator, in the pantry over there. Remember, they had all this cake mix, all these sweet stuff. I'm sure they were cooking this stuff and not allowing the kids to eat it. Remember when, I believe in Ruby's journal, she said that R was saying that mom just sits on the sofa and eats brownies all day while, you know, whatever. Well, clearly, I mean, this is what's going on, right? I'm sure she sat there and ate in front of them, tempting them, and having that smell wafting through the house. Now, again, you just see the walkthrough going on. Again, I cannot get over, in my mind, even for like this mega house, it's so weird. See, this guy's like, bro, I'm right back where we started, right? I mean, there's just, it feels like there's so many nooks and crannies, and like the house was set up for this confusion. That whole thing down in the basement, which though I think they get back there in a second, I think they're on their way. The door, you know, that we're talking about with the lock, with the I call it a banker's lock on the outside. Why would you have that? What? That's creepy enough in itself. Who and what are you locking up in there? You know, why would that be there? You know, once they got into it, that's why she didn't want to go in there. That's 100% why she didn't want to open that door, because it's obvious. See, they try and play it off, this whole thing of like, you know, oh, well, we can do what we want, we can raise the kids, we can do all this, you know, but if that's the case, well, then be proud about it. Let them in that room when they ask for the kid. Let them go. Show them everything in the room. Now we're going to fast forward again to some more body cam footage of the officer getting there, walking through again. So let's begin. So again, like I said, I'm from the South, so this style in general, maybe this is the style out there, but this just seems like a fortress. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, it seems so cold and I cannot get past that. Nothing about this seems inviting at all, but nothing about Jodi seems inviting. I mean, look at what a horrible, miserable human being she was, right? Now remember, when they were out there talking, this is what's so interesting about seeing the various angles of the body cam footage. I believe this is the part where he's going there saying, hey, we need to get in that room. And she's like, you know, lawyer, should I let him in the room? And they're like, well, they need to make sure. So again, what's interesting is, keep in mind, as she's over there, you know, peeing her pants, they've seen the condition of the child. They've gone through this house, and anyone walking through this and knowing what that child looked like that jumped out would be getting the same vibes that we are watching this. Like, something's not right. Like this, there's a very bad energy here. If we can pick up on this energy off of her and Ruby in the home through our television and computer screens or phone screens, whatever, imagine the cops there on scene, right? I mean, come on. Now this guy's just kind of waiting around for him, but this is the part where they start to, she's like stalling. And again, of course she is. She knows this is bad. She knows this doesn't look good to normal people. And I hate using the word normal, but I mean, come on, right? It's very appropriate here when using things in comparison to her. Now this is where she goes out. She's just sitting there on the phone with that lawyer, acting like the victim, knowing she thinks she's the victim. Okay, so that's pretty much it. The rest of it, it's like he goes back out to the car, he's driving, he's doing that. I really just wanted to go on a rant, to be quite honest, when I was watching this, because like I said, I'm going through all the evidence stuff and looking at it, and so I watched a few minutes of it, and I was like, Paul, you just need to record this, these thoughts you're having, and see if y'all are having the same thoughts as me. Again, I take into consideration, I'm not from this area, so this style, this type of stuff, is not what I'm used to seeing. I didn't grow up seeing this kind of stuff, right? I didn't grow up seeing $5-7 million homes like this either, you know. But even in that spectrum of things, I'm like, I'm sorry, this doesn't feel normal. This feels very, very off. And again, I mean, I guess maybe because if you also look at like Lori and Chad, go over to the Daybell case for a minute, that prepper stuff they had going, maybe she, meaning Jodi, meaning Ruby, had that going too. Because when you see the vast amounts of large quantities of food that she had in one of those kitchen cupboards, and then the vast amount of baked, cake mix and this and that and the other and all that. And I'm like, but why? I mean, you're starving the children. It's not like you're making massive food. What was this for? Was this for end times? Because that's what this house feels like, okay? It just hit me all of a sudden. It feels like it's set up for end times, but it could also easily be dubbed for prison camp. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's giving. Like bunker, keep everyone out. But again, I will come back to this, and we might just do a separate video talking specifically about some of the other evidence and that room that they go into. The room with I call it the banker's vault. Why would you have that in your house? And then the way that I haven't been in it in several years, and Then why were you asking your lawyer should you let them in there? Or like that pause she does, and again, if you watch the other video, then you know what I'm talking about. So that's it. I'll get off my soapbox. This is kind of a different video. But it's just watching this house, it gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I'm curious, what do you think? What energy do you get? What is your opinions? Let me know in the comments. I do appreciate if you're still watching. Drop some sofas down there for Roscoe, for me to come down, hang out in the comment section, talk about this case and others. And until we do, we'll see y'all soon. I just wanted to say thank you again for watching the whole video, and also thank you for being part of the Sofa Squad. Special thanks to all the Patreon members, channel members from both of my channels, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, comments in the comment sections. It helps the channel out so much. Now, don't forget, I do have that other channel, the podcast channel. That's where we go live, we hang out, we talk. We have kind of sort of a schedule, but just be sure and check it out. I'll put it up here on the screen. Also, if you're looking for merch, be sure to check out my Teespring store. I'll put that up here. And then, like I said in the beginning of the video, if you want to follow me and Roscoe on the Instagram, go on, check it out. It's right here on the screen again. But once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being part of the Sofa Squad, and I'll see you in the next video.